Hey everybody, how's it going? We are the
What's
Heels of
up?
Time. This is
Yeah.
Theo and my partner Derek. So,
Howdy, howdy.
apologies everybody. We had a couple life events go down. One really cool
Yeah.
and one not so cool. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Derek, you tell the cool one because that's the best.
Well, I got to bring my baby boy into this world. My first child, my only son, instantly fell in love. The wife's with him right now. She, bless her heart, is letting me do this show, um, which I love you, little boy. You'll see this one day, and hopefully you'll be happy that your dad is always going to be out there to listen to. So, and of course, Uncle Theo, of course.
Yeah, or he'll
So,
just laugh at us because he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this technology was so bad."
oh, well, probably.
Yeah, probably.
It's not even a hologram.
Right.
So, so
So that
anyway,
was
why
2 weeks ago.
don't you give the bad news?
So yeah, the bad news from last week is it was my wife's birthday, so it's like awesome, right? Except Saturday night she took a spill down the stairs and broke her foot. And I mean, like it was really Sunday morning, so by the time we did the ER and all the stuff and got home, I'll be honest, y'all, I was pretty tired and it would not have been a very hype show. So Derek's been sleeping, I've been running. Sorry, guys. Yeah, life
Yeah.
happens first. We do love you all, though.
Now, if Theo broke a leg, then the show must go on.
Well, yeah,
But
because you just see me with the big cast, and I'd be like, "Hey, cast."
because that would be good luck in theater. But
Correct. I mean, what's a little video with my legs standing up? It's all good.
no, I'm only
Yeah, of
teasing,
course.
and obviously, get well soon. Of course, well wishes are being sent.
Hell yeah, and obviously with the kid, because you didn't say the name, so I'm not gonna say it.
No, I
I,
appreciate
I,
it.
I do know it, but hope to see the little dude soon.
Oh, for
But
sure.
showtime. Bam! Show
Yeah,
must go on, y'all. But
let's hit
first,
it.
I'm gonna get out of the way. Like and subscribe.
Oh, please like and subscribe.
Give it to us.
Please like and subscribe.
So today is gonna be a wacky episode. We're gonna be getting some extrapolations, and we're gonna be forming some things into the wheel of time. There's gonna be some crazy spoilers, cause
Crazy spoilers.
yeah. So this is ahead of time. This is gonna be a lot of end game stuff mixed with some beginning game stuff.
So, and
So
I've been seeing Theo on the Twitters. I've been seeing people reference these kind of spoilers as in-depth reread level spoilers. So
ooh,
whatever that means. So
ooh,
if you're rereading Wheel of Time, these are the spoilers for you. These are the things that you can think about and ponder when you're not reading the book and you're stuck at work in a deep fryer and you're like, is that really true? And then you go to pick up your copy and you get to what we're talking about and you can make up your own decisions.
yep.
So
Or even on a
what
first read,
mm-hmm.
you can think about, you know what? I can see where that would come through.
Exactly. So if you're the type of person that likes to go to the last page first, just to make sure everything turns out okay, keep watching. Like we won't let you down. We will hold your hand through the wheel of time,
Yep.
and you will see. It's kind of like a tour guide. You will see things that you normally wouldn't think to look at. Sure, there are better people out there that are gonna be able to recite the wheel of time lore internally. I'll give you that, but I don't think there's anyone else out there that's going to quite deliver the experience that you're getting from us. So, without
Hopefully
further
not.
ado,
So
I
hopefully
mean,
not.
well, let's put it this way: if there is, I hope they get dreadfully famous so that we can ride their coattails.
Yeah, I was about to say so. Let me grab a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So today's episode is going to be about the story of Pandora's box and how it's going to relate back to the Wheel of Time. So, if you're not familiar with the story, the way we usually do it, because it's been a couple weeks, Derek, I usually go through a little bit of history of some sort, be it myth or culture, whatever. Derek
Mm.
relates it. I can maybe relate it to Wheel of Time, but Derek's more of the Wheel of Time guy, and he relates it to my story, so to speak. And when I say my story, is very loosely because it's already myth and it's already been written. So if you're unfamiliar with Pandora's box, I'm going to give you a little bit of lowdown for this. So all starts with three big gods: Zeus, Prometheus, and Epimetheus. So you're saying, wait, Prometheus and Epimetheus, they're not actually like part of the Olympiad. You're right. They're actually two titans. Technically, if you want to be super specific, I kind of consider Zeus a titan. He just kind of murdered everybody and was like, hey, I'm a god now, I'm not a titan.
So before he
But
took over, they'd be kind of on the same level.
yes,
But then he pulled the Godfather, and he's like, "It's my town now."
bingo. So you're like, huh, that's weird. I've heard of Prometheus before. You're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing with him is he has foresight, prophecy. Cool.
That's right. And so, nerdy fact: the Greek Prometheus literally means forethought, and then the Greek Epimetheus literally means afterthought. So maybe Prometheus might be the clever of the Tweedledee Tweedledum kind of situation here, just priming the audience here,
Storyline,
Theo.
yeah. So Prometheus already knew Zeus was going to win, so he's like, well, why would we want to go on the losing side? Nah, it doesn't make sense. We're going to go on the winning side.
So forethought, he's not just smart, but he can literally he knows what's going to
prophecy.
happen.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
So, go figure. Zeus wins the battle. We already know that part, though. So, Zeus is like, you know what, guys? Thank you so much. You guys get to, like, create some stuff. And you get carte blanche, do your thing. And they're like, cool. Epimetheus is like, excellent, I'm going to build the animals. So he builds all the animals and gives them all special skills, protection, all the 9 works. Now, mind you, though, Zeus is kind of a jerk. We've said this many times before. There's a finite amount of stuff they can give the world. So, of course, there's like before thought and afterthought. So in an afterthought, he just gives all the animals everything. Prometheus is like, cool, dude. All right, I'll build man. Very important. Man, as in not a woman, strictly males, if you want to consider it male.
Right,
but then he's like, shoot, there's nothing to like actually give him. So you know how we're like the apex predators now? Yeah, we were like, we were nothing. We were the prey. So he's like, man, what can actually help humans? Zeus, how about we hook him up with some fire? Because the animals are like killing it. Zeus is like, no. Fire's for the gods. You know this. Man knows this. Deal. They gotta make their own. They gotta make their own way.
So let me interject real quick. I know you're on a roll, but just to keep the flow, just to keep the flow back and forth a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, in Wheel of Time lore, there's actually this time period where humans kind of suck, and they cannot channel the one power, and then this person comes along, this Tamerlane, or possibly just Merlin, if you think about it. And he's the first, right? And he's the first that's able to conjure this power, or kind of use the fire, or the power of the gods, so to speak, right?
Which would be fire, in a way.
Which would be fire, because one has to stop and think. Well, gosh, fire. I don't use that every day. I just have my iPhone. No, Theo, I think you could agree with me when I say it represents technology. It's not just literally right.
It's not literally magic or whatever.
Right.
It's the building of technology. Correct.
So if you were trying to take a mythology and ground it in reality, then maybe you would make it a literal magical fire.
Right. But where does all of our, even humans now, what does all of our basis of everything come off of? Fire.
Well,
of some sort of another.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but yeah.
So, Zeus is like, you gotta be me. Prometheus, you're punished. I'm gonna strap you on unbreakable chains, and guess what? You're gonna be eaten every day, but because you're immortal, because I can't kill you, you will just be essentially reborn every day, and every day that eagle's gonna come and nibble on you.
Ooh.
Fast forward a while, Hercules comes through and he's like, this is BS. Rips the chains. Actually, no, technically he beats down the eagle, kills the eagle, lets Prometheus escape, and Zeus is like, whatever. Kind of weird, that part, but whatever.
Well, it's Hercules is Zeus's
Hercules,
son,
son,
right?
but Prometheus, he was still pretty pissed. But
Well, for sure, but also, I mean,
yeah,
Zeus really favored Hercules, right?
oh, of course,
Like,
hell yeah, he did. And so now you're like, where the hell does Pandora come into effect? Here we go.
hmm,
So Zeus is like, you know what? Prometheus, you suck. I gave you super punishment. Man, you're just as terrible because you accepted the sacred fires. You knew it was
mm,
bad not to take the fire, but you did it anyway. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create woman, and I'm going to name her Pandora. So
okay.
she's the first actual woman.
Mm,
Now, in a purely jackass move, if we want to look at it from this perspective, he modeled her after Aphrodite, which of course is like the most beautiful thing on the planet.
right.
Also gave her wisdom, beauty,
Mm,
obviously, kindness, peace, generosity, and health from the rest of the gods. Everybody gave her like a little something. So she's like, I don't want to say perfect, but she's pretty dang perfect, right?
mm,
So Zeus is like, here's my plan. So Epimetheus, single dude, or single god, I guess you could say, he's like, hey, got this girl. Just brought her to Earth. You want to marry her? Man, he's like, hell yeah. Afterthought, right? Because Prometheus
yeah,
had
right, right,
warned him
right.
and said Zeus is a trickster. He doesn't actually say everything he means, and he bends the truth a little bit, man. So you got to be careful. Whatever. All right. So bam, marries her. Cool. As a gift, wedding gift, he's like, here's this. Well, we say box. It's probably more like a jar or amphora or something like that in ancient times.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, here's this thing. It's sealed up tight. Never. Oh, you can look at it. You can do all the things to it, but you can never, ever, ever open it.
Mm,
She's like, oh, okay, cool. I can just put it away. Well, man, it's like, how many times? Well, you're gonna say this, Derek. How many times you're gonna tell your kid, don't press that button? What are they gonna do? Press the button.
they're definitely gonna press it.
Hell yeah. So Zeus purposely gave someone who's smart as heck a thing, a puzzle if you want to consider it, or almost like a joke. You can't ever open this up, but it's the jar. It's a box, whatever you want to call it. There's a lid. You can open it, and over time she's like, man, oh, it can't hurt to take a little peek. Boof, opens it up. Bam, all the bad stuff comes out. Now, mind you, this is like almost Eden, if you want to compare it to like Christianity. This is like perfect living.
Right.
There's like
Okay.
nothing bad
Okay.
going on. Everything is
So
like great.
so
Go
now
for it.
things are kind of terrible, right? So check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lanfear was considered one of the most beautiful women during the Age of Legends.
Bingo.
Her name was something like Mairen Arenela, and at the time that was her name. And check this out. She, in the Wheel of Time, of course, the Dark One is this kind of catch-all for all the evil in the world. Um, and he's gendered as he, and he is in a prison when before the story starts. That's the background. And he is let free through a boar created by, check this out, not just Lanfear, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually Lanfear and a fellow Aes Sedai scholar, a male Aes Sedai, because there were men Aes Sedai at the time. And his name is not that important, but it's something like Bidaman. So this is what's interesting about Bidaman. You mentioned Prometheus and Epimetheus. What's
Mm-hmm.
interesting about this guy is I think he's more like the Epimetheus character. And that's because A, he really didn't think about what would happen when they opened this bore. And B, Robert Jordan writes specifically that after it became apparent what he did with the bore, he tried to be forgotten,
Hmm.
but since he was well known to the public, he committed suicide. So it's interesting that he noted that he tried to be forgotten. That's a very specific, like, that's like, and of like the three sentences about the guy, one of the sentences is that he tried to be forgotten. So that's just kind of interesting to me. So the boar, that seems to me like opening Pandora's box. Pandora would be Lanfear here. Then the Dark One's prison would be the jar, right? Does that sound about right to you?
I would definitely think so too. And,
Okay.
and speaking on Lanfear,
Mm-hmm.
I gorgeous, according to
Yes.
legend, right?
Yep.
Would you say she was deceitful,
Very much so.
stubborn,
Yeah.
curious?
I suppose. I mean, she opens the boar. Yeah.
So, ironically, on a little different little tangent, as like the gods give Pandora kind of some gifts, so to speak.
Right.
And for the record, and Hephaestus actually creates her out of clay. It's kind of cool.
That's interesting.
Right. I was like, I knew you were gonna get something on that. So the killer is Zeus orders Hermes. Remember who Hermes is too, right?
Oh, the messenger, man. Messenger of the
He
gods.
he gave her, or Hermes was ordered to give Pandora deceit, stubborn, curious. So Zeus
Oh,
literally
wow.
set the trap the whole time,
Wow.
and he knew what he was gonna do. Prometheus warns his bro not to do it because he's got that
Mm,
foresight.
right.
It doesn't happen. So I think, and I know you and I talked offline on this, and this is why we did this topic. I immediately
Yeah.
was like, Pandora's box. You're like, that's interesting. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because I
No,
think
for sure.
Pandora's Lanfear.
Yeah.
And
I
then
I
you're
see it.
like, huh. And then you actually tied it like straight up. Because I just was like, oh, she's pretty. She's pretty. And I just kind of was my
Hmm.
like thing. And, you know. And I
I
was
like it.
like, all the evils coming out? Man, that's got
Right.
to be the dark one, right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of
Most
sealed
definitely.
away and, blah. And then if you saw our last episode, we're building on that one where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
when Rand could only think of one time
There we
that the
go. Here
Dark
it
One
is.
doesn't exist,
Yep.
and he snatched it. I'm going one step further and saying that one instance is like that moment when Pandora opens the box.
There you go.
And I
There you
think we
go.
flipping the script. We kind of said like last time, oh, if you have like a good person, dragon,
Mm-hmm.
casting a shadow, that
Right.
shadows all the bad stuff. I'm flipping it around on this one and saying conversely,
Right.
the one thing that's left in Pandora's box, if you want to call it an evil, because it's not, I don't think it could be evil if you want to be way across the line for it,
Mm.
was hope. And when she
Okay. Yeah.
blasted that, and Pandora's like, oh no! And by the way, the things that came out, all the bad stuff. You want to say the seven deadly sins? That's
Mm.
basically what came out. Everything evil and all the strife and all the bad stuff
Okay.
humans have to
Everything.
deal with
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or punished with or whatever on Earth, that's what got opened up. And she's like, oh no! Slams the door shut on hope,
Mm. Mm.
ironically. So the kicker is, it's not like you can like get all these things really back together
No.
permanently. It's just how it's going to be. So the whole thing was, we have to hold on to that hope.
Mm.
Got to hold on to that jar to make sure
Yeah.
it stays.
Yes.
And you always have to have it. So I look at it. I don't know if you want to take it from here, Derek.
Oh, for sure. But go ahead.
I was gonna go one step and say all the Lanfear
Yeah.
pops the seal. Cool.
Right. Yep.
Pandora's box, if you want to say it's almost like the universe or Earth or whatever. Okay, we can say that's the vessel, maybe even the boar. Cool.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Seal breaking. I think that's obvious. All the evils coming out. Dark one.
Okay.
Slam the lid shut. Hope, but it still exists. So
Mm.
what would hope be against all the evils or the dark one? I think hope represents the dragon.
I love that. I love that very, very much. I think that really puts a fine point on who the dragon is. And it goes back to that point, looking the other way, of saying, Well, the dragon is the bright light, so he casts a shadow. Well, now we're saying, all like you said, all the evil is escaped and all that's left is hope. And check this out. Isn't it interesting that Lanfear is destined to be in love with the dragon?
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of has multiple opportunities to destroy him right out, but she never does it. She does not. So she holds on to hope, so to speak. That's even when the dragon dies and he's reborn, right? Like it's
an echo, but still.
it ascends the body. She just can't give this guy up. So now might there be some betrayal at the very, very, very end? Okay, but that's when I don't want to totally
destroy the ending.
Destroy the ending. It's not necessary for this point. So I might in another episode, but for now I'll just leave it there and say, yeah, Lanfear seems to be Pandora. The hope is the dragon. Lanfear inadvertently cannot destroy hope in Robert Jordan's story because she's in love with him or lusts for him or something. Is very possessive.
They're connected.
They have some kind of. She chases him. Okay, that's the connection, and she can't ever have him, which we discussed. The relationship is kind of like the moon and the sun, most likely. But sticking on the topic at hand, isn't it interesting that when the Dark One is opened out of the prison, they actually say it takes time for his stuff to take effect. It's not
instantaneous.
And also, I wanted to add that it's interesting that the world didn't end then, did it?
Nope.
So that tells us, again, that not every single evil or sentiment or state of being was totally eradicated by the Dark One. Because in the Wheel of Time, when the bore is open, people still have that hope. They still have that hope to go on to fight the good fight, to live the next day. What's also interesting, and this will be like an extra tidbit, when the series wraps up, and Rand himself knows that he cannot be everywhere at once. He even understands his true purpose as being hope. And what he will do is, instead of spending 20 minutes in one place doing a little damage
here, by the way.
Right. And I'm trying to neuter these spoilers as much as I can. I'm just trying to be germane to the topic.
Yep.
Rand will, instead of spending an hour or two in one of the, let's just say 5 battlefields, he goes, you know what? I will spend 2 minutes here and literally shine light from the sky, open up the clouds, light from the heavens shines down. Everyone goes, the dragon must be fighting with us. And here's a spoiler for an upcoming episode. Gosh, doesn't that remind you of Patroclus wearing Achilles' armor? Achilles is fighting for us. He's here. So it's like this hope, right? Mm-hmm. So that also, what's interesting to me is, in American mythology, that would make Rand Superman.
Yeah.
So that maybe that we'll have to get on to why Robert Jordan didn't make Hope Superman in his book compared to the American mythos, right? I think that would be a very good episode. Especially because did you know that John Henry, the railroad steel driving man, is actually one of the 100 heroes that is summoned by the Horn in the Wheel of Time? Isn't that cool?
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. So
I didn't pick up on it. Let me put it that way.
It's if you blink, you miss it. It's one line in the whole series, and it's in the very last book. So it's big spoiler.
Dang, Robert Jordan. Throwing those little tidbits for a second.
No, most definitely.
Stevenson, but whatever.
Well, right. So one last point here to be made, and just really to hit this home. It's interesting that Robert Jordan found a way to communicate this one event that happened in the unfathomably distant past and come back upon it again in a great cycle, and then marry that with the idea that, well, time is just this linear thing, and it's because things cycle back in such a long time that by the time it starts again, like Robert Jordan says, what's the famous stuff? Legend turns to myth. Myth is even forgotten by the time the wheel that spun it out. Someone knows the quote. Someone out there knows the quote.
Yeah, someone figure it out. We know what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you live long enough, you live history to repeat itself.
Well, and that's the ultimate point, right? Is our tech. So I don't know if this is literally what Robert Jordan means or literally what the Game of Thrones author means, but a lot of the wheel talk is about the fact that our technology changes, but our human condition remains the same.
Bingo.
So yeah. So new solutions to new problems.
Yep.
So I thought your connections were awesome. I really enjoyed it. I really like Rand as Hope. I really think it really fits. I said really one too many times. Do you have anything else you want to throw in there?
Man, so I love this stuff, man. This is crazy. And
this is good.
Should we give them a little tidbit of some potential stuff coming up?
Oh, go for it, dude.
All right. I want to say fast forwarding a little bit from like a super ancient myth, but Derek finally, I don't know if I can't say finally, but read one of my favorite books. And yes, I'm a super dork. I love the Iliad. It's phenomenal.
It's a good read.
Or at least I think so. Derek is like, I kept talking about it over and over and over again. He's like, fine, all right, when I'll listen to it. And he's like, holy crap, this is crazy. I was like, told you. I'll be honest, the first time I ever read Wheel of Time, which is really, like I've said, beginning, I've only read it once, I automatically was like, this is like the Iliad. And
nice.
That's the first thing I didn't know. I mean, I wasn't looking into all this other stuff that we're looking into now, but I was like,
sure.
Oh, this person's this person, this person's that person. Man, I mean, I was oblivious to like even Matt and Odin, and that kind of stuff, until I was like, I think you mentioned something, and I was like, holy crap! Yeah, it's 100%.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna approach the Iliad eventually. I don't know if Derek is actually done with it. But,
yeah. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Oh, for sure.
So
I'm ready to go on that one.
Coming up for sure. I have one I want to do, and I'm just gonna blast him with this. So, Constantine. I'm not talking about Constantine. I'm talking about the Emperor Constantine.
Okay.
Being Rand.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
So that was a surprise for Derek. We may or may not do that one. He may just say, dude, that was way off. But I've been thinking about that one more and more and more and more. We're eventually going to be branching out into some different type of cultures, not always just keeping it into like European. So that's going to be our little guiding force through time. And we might be comparing it to like some Star Wars stuff. Maybe.
Oh, we'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Man, I gotta get back to the wifey. Make sure she's actually okay. He's probably gotta get back to the kid because I'm sure his wifey's like, God dang it, Derek, we can't do these like 6-hour sessions anymore.
Yeah. Luckily he's asleep right now, but that can change at any minute.
So needless to say, y'all, have a good week. Appreciate you guys taking your time and understanding why our bad. We didn't actually, come to you for 2 weeks in a row. That's unlikely, but it happens occasionally. But much appreciated, everybody.
And thanks for the live viewer out there on Twitch right now. Normally we're here on Sunday. Normally we're here on Sundays at around 4:00 every Sunday. on YouTube and live here. So please come back and find us again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, much appreciated, guys. All right. Thank you, and see you later. Like and subscribe, please. And we'll talk
We
to you
are the
later.
Heels of Time.